Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixapub, and I'm here to talk about the retro game pickups we've gotten here lately. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done one of these. This is going to be a lot of stuff, so you better strap in, get comfortable. A lot of stuff we got for Christmas. For the past couple months, different, holidays, Valentine's Day, stuff like that. And there's a lot of my personal holy grails in this video right here. A lot of stuff I've running for a very long time, and I finally got. So let's get into it. Let's start with some Dreamcast games. Okay, first game is Sega Bass Fishing. Now you might be saying to yourself, that's not very exciting, but we also got the Sega Dreamcast fishing controller, which is something I've wanted for a very long time. I always thought it was a unique looking thing. It's got a little reel thing that you can mess around with. Kathy got me this for Valentine's Day, and we messed around with it a little bit. Kathy's verdict was that the game's not that good, but the controller is amazing, and I tend to agree. The controller feels really good. It's got this really weighty rumble to it, and the real thing works, and you can like tilt it back and forth and stuff. But yeah, Sega Bass Fishing was one of those games that I played a lot on Sega Dreamcast demo discs. They would think it was only every one of the original ones if you bought like a magazine or whatever. Somehow got a Dreamcast demo disc. It was gonna be on there, and I couldn't play it with the fishing controller because I didn't have one. Played it with the regular controller, and it was, it was what it was. But I really enjoyed the look of it. Those early Sega Dreamcast games had a look that I really enjoyed. What I don't have with me is a game that I did order. I'm just gonna hold my hand out and you can see a picture of it. It's Sega Marine Fishing. I ordered it off eBay. It's not here yet. I'm not gonna wait till the next video to talk about it because probably not worth talking about it too much, but it is one of the sequels to Sega Bass Fishing, except out in the ocean. I know there is a Sega Bass Fishing 2 on the Dreamcast, and it goes for kind of a pretty penny for a fucking fishing game, but I don't know. One or more games to play with the fish controller, and we're gonna get them. It's gonna be a fun time. Okay, next up we got some Kathy pickups. This is stuff she picked up, and I'm not sure why. Actually, I'm kind of sure why she picked this one up. It is Gran Turismo on the PlayStation, the first one. She got really hyped about it because Heather was really hyped about it. Our good friend and family, actually, more like it. She went with us to the Magpie and the Crow. She saw it and got really excited about it because it's something she played when she was a kid, and urged Kathy to get it as well. I didn't like Gran Turismo. I don't think I played a Gran Turismo I've liked at all. I remember, just like Sega Bass Fishing, playing demos of the first one and the second one, and renting the third one on the PlayStation 2 because it looked so fucking amazing. I had to see it for myself. I just never got into it. I was just, I don't know, man. Realistic racing didn't hit me hard until Forza 2 specifically, and then Forza 3. And those are the only two that I really played a lot of. I played a lot of Forza Horizon series, but that's kind of different. She said she liked it when she tried it out, so sure. And I think it was very cheap. They made a lot of these games. They're everywhere. Gran Turismo was stupid popular. All right, next. It's a fighting game. It's one I've wanted for a while, but Kathy picked it up. It is Tekken 3. I've played the demos of Tekken 3 and Tekken 2 a lot. First Tekken game I played was Tekken Tag Tournament on the PS2. I don't know, I was always kind of attracted to Tekken 3 because the main dude has like fire pants, and I thought that was cool. He has flames going up his pants. My biggest problem with Tekken, when I did play it on the demo disc and stuff, is like the fights last like 10 seconds. Like you could just get destroyed or destroy someone in just like no time at all, and then you're staring at loading screens because it's the PlayStation 1 for another minute or two. But it was a well-regarded game. I remember people talking about like crazy, like in middle school or high school, whatever I was in when it came out. People just loved it, and talking about all the characters you can unlock and stuff like that. Little dinosaur. But yeah, Kathy, why'd you?
I just got into like a little fighting game kick.
Yeah, she did, actually. That week of going out with game hunting, she bought a handful of fighting games. We're going to talk about another one here next. All right, another Kathy pickup is Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. The fifth Mortal Kombat game, you could tell because the V in the logo is a big Roman numeral 5. This is the first one on the PlayStation 2. The sequel to Mortal Kombat 4, which was kind of weird. This one's kind of weird too. I never played this game until she got it, so I don't know a lot about it except for it's the game where Shang Tsung and Quan Chi team up together, and that's why it's called Deadly Alliance, and they kill Liu Kang in the beginning. The only Mortal Kombat game I played on the PlayStation 2 was Deception. I actually bought that game when it first came out and got like the bonus disc and all that other stuff, and it was fine. I remember having more fun with the like story mode that they had where you can run around as Shujiko? Is that his name? I can't remember. That was a lot of fun. I don't know if Kathy knows this, but there's still a third Mortal Kombat game on the PS2 we do not have. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the last one that came out on the PS2. It's one that has every single character ever made up until that point in that game. It was pretty wild. But yeah, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, sure, why not? Okay, next, we got some GBA games. First of the list is Pac-Man Pinball. It's something Kathy picked up because she loves pinball and is fond of Pac-Man, somewhat. I don't know how much she played of it, but I played a little bit of it. Right after we got this, I got insanely sick and was just couch-ridden, bed-ridden for a while, and she just had the GBA sitting there on the couch, so I grabbed it, and this was the game that was in it, and I messed around with it for a little bit, and I was like, this seems fine. It's a Pac-Man pinball game. It's as advertised. You know, not terrible, not great, but another pinball game in the collection. And next, another GBA game is something I got her for Christmas. It is, let me get the name right, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Pumpkin King. Now, this is something that she had brought up a little bit of in the past. To my understanding, it is a Nightmare Before Christmas Metroidvania.
It's really good, actually.
She says she's really good. She likes it. I was kind of like, what? How have I never heard of that? I guess it's one of the more collectible games on the Game Boy Advance. It wasn't like, you know, dirt cheap or anything, but it wasn't mad expensive. But I don't know. Maybe it's one of those, you know, hidden gems. Maybe you've never heard of the Metroidvania based off Nightmare Before Christmas on the GBA, but you're hearing about it now. And yeah, check it out. If you like Metroidvanias, I need to check it out. I love Metroidvanias. I haven't played it yet, though. I'm going to. Next is a Kathy pickup. The last of the Kathy pickups. The rest are all mine. But it's a DS game. It is Elite Beat Agents. I think I convinced her to get this at Hidden Block because it was there and it wasn't very expensive at all. And I remember people love this game. It still gets brought up to this day. Like, when they're going to make another Elite Beat Agents, all of that stuff. For those of y'all who don't know, Elite Beat Agents is a rhythm game with a fun little cast of characters. They're there on the front, and you just, it's like tapping on the screen, doing different motions with the stylus. While crazy stuff happens in the background, you can see on the back here, there is a giant cat attacking a city, and it says, "Go, baby." Agents are go. Yeah, it seemed like one of those must-have DS games that we did not have in the collection, and now we have. So we're one step closer to a better DS collection. DS collection's not that big. Okay, this is another one of those Grails I was talking about. The first one was that Sega fishing controller. I always wanted one of these. This game, I always wanted because it looked, I always thought it was like right up my alley. It looked insanely good. It was fast-paced action, Super Nintendo game. I wanted to play it a lot. I remember seeing ads for it in magazines, but never got a chance to like emulations and stuff. And discovered that it's a very hard game. Very, very hard. But I still love it. It is Pocky and Rocky. That is a good-ass Super Nintendo game, despite it being very hard. I remember going to buy this at a local-ish game shop several years ago, and it was kind of cheap. I was like, man, maybe they don't know what they have. And going up to the counter, and the guy telling me, he's like, "This is a repro, so just so you know." I was like, he's like, "Do you still want it?" I was like, "Nope." So I didn't get it there, but now I have the real version. I have the version on the Switch, the remastered version, but nothing compared to that Super Nintendo art, that Super Nintendo sound. It's one of those games that like screams Super Nintendo to me for some reason, even though I didn't play it back in the day. I only played it, after the fact. What a cool time. Kathy got me this for Christmas. She got me a lot of Holy Grail games for Christmas. I don't know what she was thinking. She was trying to spend some money. But yeah, Pocky and Rocky. Great game on the Super Nintendo if you got skill. All right, next up is a game I picked up from Hidden Block Games on our Game Hunt video we did about a month ago now. This is Ridge Racer 64. It's actually the first Ridge Racer game I own. I've played demos. This whole video is about demos. I played demos of like the first Ridge Racer on the PlayStation. I rented Ridge Racer Type 4 back in the day when it was new because I loved the way that game looked. I want that game on the PlayStation. Let's get that game in as quickly as we can. I just love the way like the lights and stuff looked in the nighttime stages. Anyway, I had completely forgot that they made a Ridge Racer on the N64, and when I saw it there, and it was like, I don't know, $12, $10, something like that, I had to pick it up, came home, popped it in the N64, and man, it is Ridge Racer. Even that opening stage is just like, or that first track, it's like, hey, this is the track from Ridge Racer, and it's like, wow, but it looks like it's only 64, and that's really cool. I still have this little secret goal in the back of my mind to get every single like 3D behind the back racing games on the N64, and I know there's probably some top-down ones out. I don't give a shit about that. I want to play the ones that were like, this is when like we could have 3D racing games, y'all. This is great. So this is another one that I can add to that collection. I already got my little sticker on there, so I can put it on the shelf and be easily read. But yeah, Ridge Racer 64, damn good time. Okay, we got all that out of the way. Now we just have Sega Genesis games. There's games that I got for Christmas and games I picked up at Hidden Block Games on our game hunt. First off, starting with Bob. Now, Bob, for those of y'all who don't know, is a kind of a 2D side-scrolling action game for the Sega Genesis, made by Electronic Arts, so it has that weird box that's thicker than regular Sega Genesis games, and it's got the weird cartridge as well. It's got a little tab that I always wondered what that did, but it was a game that, for whatever reason, I rented several times when I was a kid, and I have a lot of nostalgic affinity for Bob, the little robot man with his big-ass eyes. I always thought it was very cool that he had the different weapons you could pick up, like a flamethrower and stuff like that, and he could go across, like, you know, railings or whatever, just hold on to them and move. But he still had his gun out, but since he's a robot, he could hold on with one hand, and he would move by, like, doing his fingers like this, and there was, like, animation for it. So, I don't know, I thought it was neat. After going back and, you know, playing it again, I was like, not the best game in the world. I don't think it ever was, but I don't know, it was something that spoke to me as a child, and I always wanted it, and I saw it for a decent price at Hidden Block Games. Had to pick it up. Great shape. I love Sega Genesis in the box. I love that clamshell. Give me these games all damn day long, and I'll take them. That's Bob in the collection. Okay, next up is a game that I really want on the Super Nintendo, but haven't seen it except for like one store, and I was too scared to ask the price for it. But it is Super Smash TV. Also saw it at Hidden Block. It's a game I want on Super Nintendo because it is a dual joystick shooter based on an arcade game, and it's probably best played at home on the Super Nintendo because you can move with the D-pad and you can aim in the 4 directions with the 4 buttons, face buttons on the Super Nintendo. This is Sega Genesis version. I saw it and I was like, it's in good shape, not that expensive. I'll pick it up because, like I said, love those boxes. Yeah, it plays exactly how I thought it would. Like, you point and aim, like you can't move and aim. So that's kind of a bummer. But still, Smash TV is a great game. I think I still prefer Robotron if we're talking about the arcade versions, because that's, I don't know, I just like the craziness of Robotron. But Super Smash TV, still want that Super Nintendo version. Hell, I'll take the NES version too if I can find it for a decent price, because Smash TV is a great game. Next couple games are all bangers, all Grail items for me specifically. And we're going to start with one that I picked up at Hidden Block Games. This is something I've been looking for a very long time. I think I even talked about it in the past video where I said I don't own it, but I own it now. It's Wonder Boy and Monster World. The handful of Wonder Boy games I have played, I have enjoyed immensely, and this is one of them. I tried to do a video series of it a long time ago on our old YouTube channel. No one watched it, but I had a damn good time playing it. Wonder Boy is one of those games that, had I played it when I was a kid, I just would have fallen in love with it. It screams everything to me, just like a colorful, fun world, fun little action, upgrades. You know, I wish I had played it when I was a kid because it would just be this great memory for me. But I can still play it today, still cherish it, and I'm happy to have a physical version in my collection. It's in good shape. It's only missing the manual, which that's a happy bonus. But what I really want is just, I want the box. I want the box to be in pretty good shape, and I want the game. So, yeah, and it's one of the early Sega Genesis games that still had the grid, the black and gray grid, that looks still pretty cool to this day, I think. Yeah, Wonder Boy and Monster World, Stone Cold classic in my mind. Okay, next was a gift from Kathy. It's a game I rented a ton as a kid, and it might be kind of controversial to bring it up now. The game is based on this man who's been dead for a very long time, but he had a very he probably did some stuff that wasn't great. It was pretty bad, but I loved the game when I was a kid, and I still think it's a fun game now. It is Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. It's a game, for some reason, I just rented a lot of. I remember my buddy growing up, he got super into Michael Jackson, and we watched the Moonwalker movie a bunch of times on VHS. It was weird. He convinced me to get Thriller on VHS, oh, not VHS, but cassette tape. I actually bought Thriller on cassette tape, came home with it, and they didn't take the theft protection big piece of plastic off of it. And my dad had to take it to his little workshop outside and like saw it off. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I ran this game a lot. It's you know, he's rescuing little kids out of closets and stuff, and you can read in that how you want to. But I don't know, it was fun. It has the fun Sega Genesis renditions of the Michael Jackson songs, and it's at the end you can hold down the little magic button and make all the enemies dance at the end of each stage, and they do the Thriller dance, or they do the Smooth Criminal dance, or whatever. I don't know, it was a part of my childhood video game journey that needed to be filled to have a physical version of this game that I've wanted for a long time, and the price has just gone up and up and up over the years. It's been insane. Never saw it when it was a decent price, but Kathy got it for me for Christmas, and now I have it, and it's in great shape. Look at that. Look at that Moonwalker. Does that have the manual? No. Like I said, all I want is the game and this thing right here. And the last one's a pretty big one, because I freaking love this series. It is Castlevania Bloodlines on the Sega Genesis. This one's not in the best shape. It's got some staining on the back, but you know what? Doesn't matter, because it's going to sit on that shelf and look just as pretty as all the rest of them. And we got the game, and the game works, and it's a great game. Underrated Castlevania, in my opinion. I remember really getting into Castlevania Symphony of the Night and wanted to look back on the older Castlevania games, because the only one I really played was the first one. My cousin had it, and I would play it at his house. But I found this like website that was all dedicated to Castlevania. You could look at all the sprites and stuff like that, and it was wild. And the weirdest one that they had was Castlevania Bloodlines, it seemed, because it was on the Sega Genesis. It's the only one on the Sega Genesis. And I was like, I need to play that, so I emulated it, and just thought the music was great. And like you could pick the two characters, and neither one was a Belmont. I really liked the dude with the spear, Eric. Sure. And I like the big jump he can do if you held down the jump button, and all the wild stages, like you're going through Europe, like you're going to Greece. You're trying to get to Castlevania and fight Dracula, and it is also a super hard game. It's one of those, I don't know, rare Konami Genesis games. I don't know how many they were, but the ones they made, I don't know, pretty big bangers there. Rocky Knight Adventures, Castlevania Bloodlines, freaking love them. Love the music, love the sound font of it all. Just mwah. Chef's kiss of a Castlevania game to me. Love that box art. Love everything about this. Gonna put this front and center on the Sega Genesis shelf, and that's thanks to Kathy. Okay, that's it for the retro games we have picked up the past couple months. A lot of heavy hitters in there, at least for me. I think I adore all of these games except for one. This Gran Turismo, in case you were wondering. What's my favorite game? It's probably
I thought you were going to say Pac-Man.
No. If you told me to, she asked me what my favorite game is, and that's embarrassingly said Moonwalker. If you asked me to, if you pointed a gun to my head right now and said you have to play one of these games, I'd probably pick Moonwalker out of all of them, but I'd have a damn good time with all of them. Even Gran Turismo, I could have fun with that. So yeah, if you like what you see here and you've been collecting some retro games here lately, let us know in the comments. What have you been picking up? What have you been playing lately? Some fun 16-bit love you have in your heart going on right now. Anyway, I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub. Please like and subscribe. All of that fun stuff. Peace out.